You're watching Cox Connections only on Cox 11. Virginia is home to more active duty military and their families than any other state. And when service members know that their families are being cared for back home, they are able to perform their best. The Freedom Support Center in Fort Monroe provides the support that military families need when a loved one is deployed for months or even years. Here's a quick look at the Freedom Support Center.
Virginia's military families and veterans are among our most cherished citizens. That is why the Governor and I want to provide you our very best resources. The Freedom Support Center offers one-stop help with family support, career counseling, education, VA benefits, and many other transition services through our public, private, and nonprofit partners. Please stop by or call us so we may serve all of you who serve this high calling for us.
Commissioner Paul Galante of the Virginia Department of Veteran Services, along with Carol Berg, Director of Operation Homefront, joined me today to share the critical resources that the Freedom Support Center provides. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you for having us.
Commissioner, let me start with you. Can you give us a brief history behind the Freedom Support Center and how did it get started?
Well, it's actually Mrs. McDonald's idea, the governor's wife. She's been interested in veteran stuff forever. Fort Monroe, the Commonwealth of Virginia acquired it during the reverse BRAC closings, and it was a good deal. Yes. My personal connections, I met my wife there, married her there, and she waited a long, long time when I was overseas on my 7-year tour in Vietnam.
Yeah. And Carol, there may be those who are listening who are not familiar with Operation Homefront. Give us an overview of what is it and what kind of relationship does it have with the Freedom Support Center?
Well, we're a nonprofit organization that does emergency financial assistance for military families. So when a service member is deployed or if they happen to come back wounded and they are struggling with financial issues, we're another resource for them oftentimes when they have nowhere else to turn.
Yeah, it's so badly needed. Talk about some of the other programs or initiatives or assistance rather that the center offers.
Well, the center has a great opportunity to bring in representatives from a number of organizations that can provide direct service to military families. Whether it's a service member family looking for transition assistance, emergency assistance, just resources within the community, or where they can go to get help for their families or their service member. It's a great opportunity to bring all of these resources together in one place, sort of as a one-stop, where the service families can either get the assistance they directly need or receive referrals to other programs and personalities that can help them with their needs.
And this would, career training, interview skill, I mean, all of those kinds of things. Someone's transitioning out of the military, this center provides that kind of resource to our military.
Absolutely, and an organization like Operation Homefront, we work freely with all of the other organizations to make sure that these families get where they need to go. And if they don't need emergency assistance or morale programs for us, we make sure that they click together with all of the other veteran service organizations that are there to get the services they need.
Yeah, in the intro we talked a little bit about how serving our country, it's a tough job, but knowing that your families are being taken care of, it has to feel good for you to know that you're actually supporting, just the protection of our country, knowing that you're taking care of those loved ones that are here remaining in our community.
Absolutely, and I think Paul can speak to that himself, being a service member and worrying about his family left behind.
Yeah, my situation is a little different, but we have all these youngsters now, and over the last 10 years there have been more deployments than there ever. It's really tough on families. What the Freedom Support Center does is tie it all together. I mean, it's complicated. When Governor McDonald asked me to do this, I didn't realize how many moving pieces there were, but there are a lot of them. There are a lot of opportunities for veterans, but for them to find them is tougher.
Commissioner, you may want to hit on this again, because I don't think a lot of people realize this, but the number of deployments. I mean, you and I were talking earlier, I served, many years ago, and you might find maybe one deployment in an entire career. Now people are on 4, 5, multiple deployments. Speak a little bit more about that and the impact that has on.
Mine was a little different because I had one deployment that lasted 7.5 years, but most of them, even these short ones, they go away, it totally disrupts the family, and they come back and they go and they come back, and way too many. I think it shouldn't have been done that way, but that's personal opinion. Since it's like that, we've got to help them. And they come and some can handle it on their own or think they can, but there are a lot of lingering things. We have programs, our Wounded Warrior program has been held up nationally as a great example, and we have contacts down at the Freedom Support Center to help people with that, with PTSD, with just so many other things. But you really have to dig to find them. And I've been a service officer in the VA forever and ever and ever, and I didn't know everything till I got into this. So the Freedom Support Center, I think, ties all the loose ends together.
Carol, anything you can add to that with regard to just the number of deployments that we're seeing now, and all the more reason why the need for these types of services are just absolutely critical at this time?
Well, it's not as much just alone the number of deployments, but the back-to-back deployments. We have families that have a deployment, the service member returns back, and within 6 to 9 months, they may be turning around and going back again. So it's repeat deployments, it's extended deployments. And we had a number of Navy deployments last year that extended way beyond what they would normally do, and it creates an issue for the family at home.
I want to thank both of you. Clearly, people listening, if you want to help, hopefully we'll get a website up that can identify where they can go to provide support. But thank you for what you're doing for our military families and really what you're doing for our country. When we come back, more of our customers can now experience live TV streaming anywhere and at any time on their devices. Find out more after the break.